But first, I'm John Bachman. The White House now just releasing some logistical details about tomorrow's presidential address. We know it will be delivered in prime time at 9 p.m. tomorrow from the White House, from the State Room. Also, The Hill reporting today that the president will ask for $5 billion from congressional leaders to help support this. Of course, he continues to promise not to put additional U.S. troops on the ground in the region unless regional allies do the same. Meantime, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest responding to questions yesterday about U.S. involvement in Syria during the press briefing. Earnest says the U.S. is committed to helping Syrian opposition combat the threat of ISIS.
The United States has been engaged in an effort to support them, and we have been for some time, for more than a year at least.
Meanwhile, over in the Senate, Senator Ted Cruz says the Islamic State poses a direct threat to the United States.
We can have no illusions that terrorists won't try to make good on their specific threats to attack America. And as long as our border isn't secure, we're making it far too easy.
Well, President Obama met with Secretary of State John Kerry earlier today before he heads over to the Middle East to drum up support there. And later today, the president will be meeting with congressional leadership from both parties to help gain more support for his plan to, quote, degrade and destroy ISIS. Meantime, the fallout from that new Ray Rice video continues. Many Baltimore Ravens fans are now turning over their Rice jerseys. Also, a Baltimore pizzeria is actually giving away free pizzas for anyone that brings a jersey into that restaurant. And Rice's wife continues to defend the former NFL running back. Janae Rice took to Twitter today to defend her husband and said the couple will, quote, continue to grow and show the world what real love is. Now, of course, a lot of you are talking about the Ray Rice situation, including Dr. Ben Carson. He was on Newsmax TV and says we shouldn't judge Rice too quickly.
I'm hopeful that they will get some help for him. Obviously, anyone who would do something like that needs some help. And, let's not all jump on the bandwagon of demonizing this guy. He obviously has some real problems.
Of course, Ray Rice was suspended for just 2 games before the rest of this video came out. He's now been banned from the NFL and cut from his team. And Dutch investigators are looking into the crash of the Malaysian Airlines flight MH17. They now say that plane was hit by high-energy objects while flying over Ukraine. Investigators avoided using the term surface-to-air missiles to say that flight was brought down, although data supports that conclusion. Prior reports have indicated that the plane was shot down by pro-Russian separatists. And in New York, tenants are flocking to occupy One World Trade Center on the eve of the 13th anniversary of 9/11, or just 2 days away. Actually, the building, also known as the Freedom Tower, will open later this year. It was built next to the 9/11 Memorial and where the Twin Towers once stood. The Port Authority's director calls that building, quote, the most secure building any place in the world. We'll have more news in 30 minutes. Now back to Midpoint.